He helped save the life of former Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords when she took a bullet to the head in 2011. But don't call him a hero. Daniel Hernandez Jr. says his medical training kicked in. Since that day, the former congressional intern has been traveling the country, inspiring and motivating audiences. A guest at this year's Fox Cities Book Festival, Daniel, joins us now. That's right, he's in town for the book festival, but he's here to talk to us a little bit about his story. Not only has he been traveling the country, he wrote a book about his life so far, and that's why he's at the book festival. Welcome, good morning.
Thanks so much for having me, Rachel.
Okay, so let's talk first about the events in 2011 with Gabby Giffords. Do you remember details about that morning?
You know, one of the things that I was doing is I was working as an intern for the congressional office. I'd only been on the job for 5 days, and on the 8th of January, we were having an event called Congress on Your Corner, which is something that she did to go out into the community to meet with people one-on-one. It was that day, though, that really changed my life and the life of everybody in Tucson, where a gunman came in and in 19 seconds fired 31 rounds, injuring 13 and killing 6 others, including injuring the congresswoman, who's now a former congresswoman.
So you didn't know her very well. You'd only been working there for 5 days?
Well, I'd known her previously because I'd worked on her campaigns, and I'd known her for years prior to that, and it was one of those things where I kept meaning to work in the congressional office. I had just never gotten around to it, and then after she won a narrow re-election in 2010, I said, okay, now is the time to work in the office. And I was asked by Gabe Zimmerman, who was my boss at the time, if I'd be willing to come in after a 40-hour week as a volunteer on a Saturday morning to do this event at a grocery store. And that's when, you know, I was the gatekeeper. I was checking people in as they were coming in, and 10 minutes into the event, a young man named Jared Loeffner ended up shooting everyone in the vicinity.
What training kicked in for you? What did you do to help the Congresswoman?
I was very lucky that in high school I received training as a certified nursing assistant. So by the time that I graduated, I had had some limited medical training. It obviously wasn't the kind of medical training that a trauma like that requires, but in that moment when the shooting started, I knew that with the limited training that I had, I probably had more than other people around me, and I needed to do what I could until others came in.
Now, the book that you've written isn't just about that event.
No.
It's about your life. It's actually called They Call Me a Hero, a memoir of my youth.
Yeah.
So what are the lessons in that book? What do you want people to learn about your life so far?
It's funny because, again, it's a memoir of my youth, but I'm only 23, so there's not that much, I think. But I think one of the things that I really truly value about this book is the importance of public service, and that's one of the things that's always been the main theme in my life. So as I travel the country and I talk to folks about what happened on January the 8th and the way that we can turn a tragedy into a learning opportunity. So talking about the importance of kindness, the importance of becoming more involved, and also the importance of things like education. Because again, the things that I learned in high school, I never thought I'd have to use again when I was working in politics, and yet that ended up making such a big difference. So I think those are the 3 main lessons that I talk about in the book. I also have some interesting stories of like going to the State of the Union when I was 21 for my birthday and being a guest of the First Lady, which are all kind of really interesting things that I think also add to the narrative of what's in the book.
I think it's so interesting how your life changed in one day. Yeah. You've been traveling the country for years, 1,600 interviews and speaking engagements since. He will be at the Fox Cities Book Festival today. UW Fox Valley, if you'd like to see Daniel and hear more about his story, you can pick up the book at this event. Yeah. It's open to the public. Again, it's at noon, UW Fox Valley, and there will be a question and answer period. So get out there today if you can. Otherwise, pick up the book. They Call Me a Hero. Daniel, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.